What's my intro again?
Hi guys, my name's Eric.
Maybe I need the coffee. Okay, welcome to Craft and Geek, the podcast about making, cosplay, and geek life. I am Eric, also known as Coregeek.
I'm Jackie Craft. Hello, how are you?
Hey, Jackie.
Nice to meet you. Me and Eric have been having like makeup tip session before this.
Yeah,
he's really giddy. That's why.
I'm always giddy when we get to record.
I know.
So, because what people may not know is, even though we have an episode coming out every week, we don't record every week. We kind of stack. Right. We kind of stack recordings up because of our busy schedules. So, you know what? We haven't talked in like a couple weeks. So I'm always giddy when we get to hang out together and record an episode and talk about fun stuff. Right?
I know. It's nice. It's nice. We chat a little bit, but it's definitely been hard to talk lately. So it's nice to catch up.
Yeah. And usually what happens, and I'm sure people don't know this, but we get back on to record and we start talking about something and we're like, wait, shut up. Save that for the episode.
Yeah, we've been sitting here talking about things.
Yeah,
like, crap.
Don't talk about that now. Save it for the episode. So, Hey, speaking of cool things, we finally have our artwork done for the show, right?
Yay! Yes, it's so perfect.
Yes, I love it. And that was Jackie's idea to have the cartoon versions of us for our official artwork for the show. And those were done by Cosplay Illustrated. You can find them on Facebook. And we're just really happy to have that graphic. And you guys will see it on all of the stuff from here on out if you haven't seen it already. But just we wanted to have a cool shout out to him. And
so cute. And he did such a good job. It's crazy. He did my Braveheart line, and he's like, those scales are taking a little longer than I thought. Like, it's definitely, he did my Lich King, too, back in the day, and I love that Lich King, and I had some shirts made for my family with it. So it was immediately when we were talking about logos, I was like, oh, man, let's use him again, just because it's different than, like, I love the little, like, fat, chubby chibis. They're cute, too, but, like, this is just, it's just perfect. It's like what you would be if you had a little cartoon series.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I love about it. The style is it's not quite full chibi. It's not full on caricature, but his illustrations are also really detailed, So he's found this like really cool. I've never seen anybody quite with that style before. And so when you suggested him and sent me the link to his site and I saw it, I was like, yes, I want that of me.
Yes. I love it. It's so cute.
And some of the Facebook comments have been, hey, I want one of those of me too, hopefully.
And I actually looking on his page, some of my other friends have gotten them done because I just like scrolled through them and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. He's an awesome person too. He does a lot of like really cool charity work. He's very inspiring human. So he's good people to support in the community.
I think we should have him on the show sometime. So
I think that's a great idea.
We'll mix it up from maker creators to drawing creators because that's something that I'm not very good at. So.
Yeah, I've tried. I have nice color pencils and I've tried. I keep practicing and trying to get better at it, but man, it's just like, you have to dedicate yourself to that. Like that's a whole nother thing. And like my hands are never even clean enough to draw.
Yeah, exactly. And well, it's just like every art, right? It's like diminishing skill. So if you don't keep up with it, you don't gain that skill and continue to refine it, you lose it. And then you kind of have to start at ground zero again. So those are definitely difficult.
It's so weird too, because like because we're creative people, like we always are interested. We want like all the skill sets. I want to be the jack of all trades and a master of all of them. I can't just be like the master of none. That'll drive me crazy to just have like a small skill set and everything. I have to follow something through as far as I feel like I've mastered it. And someone else obviously is better at it out there in the world because I am not famous for one particular thing yet, but I like to dabble. And it's crazy because things that I used to love, I thought I would have put more time into and be further in them now. Like when maybe 7 years ago or so, I was really big into After Effects, Adobe After Effects. I used to make a lot of really cool intros and like I liked like the puff of cloud smoke around logos and like lasers in a logo or like volcanic lava in a logo. Like I just loved creating beautiful intros and I really thought like I would love video editing. I thought that was something I'd be really into. And like nowadays I have backlogs and backlogs of footage to edit. And I'm like,
Well, that's because video editing is only fun when it's something you don't have to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's something that you can just like have fun
when you
doing.
can just kind of create whatever and do like a cool intro or something. Because I used to dabble with After Effects as well, and it's just like
Yeah.
when it's just for fun, it's fun. But when you have to sit down, because I have the same problem, right? I have a bunch of videos that I could cut together and
Yeah.
put out there, and it's just like that's a lot of work. So
It is. And like I love like and the thing about me is it's really hard for me to put a video out that I'm not proud of because of all that OCD-ness or sorry, I can't say, I got in trouble for saying OCD on the internet one time. They're like you shouldn't overuse the word OCD or the term having OCD.
So let's just say because of your affinity for making things the way you want them.
There you go. Yeah.
How does that sound?
See, the issue with OCD is that it's so quick to say that
yes.
I oversay it. So
yeah.
I apologize to anybody out there with OCD. I'm anal. There you go. I'll take it like that. And I love to have things a very specific way. And I don't want to like put like content out there. And so I want like a lower third that comes in and introduces me, and I want like hanging frames. And it's like, get out of here with that. This is not, like Fox Entertainment over here. It's ridiculous.
Well, speaking of that, I was, you're talking about putting out things that, might be subpar or whatever. It still kills me that. So talking about the podcast a little bit, our first episode, I hadn't really read up on, like any audio fixes and things to make things sound better, like post-processing and stuff. So our first episode has a lot of leveling issues where you can't hear me very well and you're kind of loud and it kind of goes back and forth. And,
oh my gosh. And my lighting's bad. And
just like, and that was like, what, a month and a half ago. So but just yesterday, we got another comment on YouTube about, hey, this is a good podcast, but the audio is kind of all wonky, and it just kind of kills me because it's like, if I could fix it and re-upload it, I would. But it is what it is. But all the episodes from 2 on sound pretty good. So because
they're progressively better.
Because the secret, I mean, not really the secret, but the fact is we just kind of threw it together. It was just like now's the time to do it. Let's just do it. Let's get it out there, and we'll fix things and upgrade things along the way. So hopefully people are hearing and seeing. Like I even set up a better lighting today. I think my lighting's a little better today. So.
I know it's irking me right now that this side of my face is not lit very well, and I look a little bit like Harvey Dent or like Two-Face.
I don't think so. You look pretty evenly lit to me.
Okay.
But it's out there, right? That number, and if people are going to start listening to our podcast, it's probably the number 1 episode they're going to listen to. And it just kills me knowing that
it kills me too.
That most people are going to listen to that one and go, it's okay, but the audio sucks. So
and then maybe not go on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm just
I feel like let's put a disclaimer at the beginning. Oh, we can't re-upload it.
It can't re-upload it. YouTube won't let you fix things. It's like
we can put disclaimer still on the video.
Yeah, I
should do that.
I'm going to. That's a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. We don't want them to
give up. Don't give up on us, guys.
Yeah, but I do want to say, since we're talking about that a little bit in the audience and stuff, and this is, I don't know, we're just talking about whatever today. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's stuck with us and all the comments on. I mean, we get like tons of comments on YouTube and Facebook and on Instagram, and we have. We're building an audience and people seem excited, and I've got a lot of people. It's like, hey, thank you for putting out new episodes on Mondays because it makes my Monday just a little bit better. And that was kind of my thought when I started doing Mondays, and I just,
it was a smart choice. You're just a smart thinker, Eric.
Well, I wasn't looking for that, but I just wanted to say thanks again to everybody for listening and keeping up with us and the people that do leave comments, because having that constant feedback to us, it's like, it helps us realize that we're not just talking into the void, I guess.
Yeah. Because in the beginning, we were expecting, I don't know, like 15 people to listen to it, maybe like our family. And so it's crazy to me how many people have been listening. Like that shocks me. And it's like when you put a video up and I see like there's 300 views, within a few hours. And it's like, oh man, that is that like our fan base? Like we have 300 people that are like excited to listen to this. Like that's crazy to me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, same.
Like, I talk to all 300 people and be like, what do you think about it? Tell me all the things you like.
I know. Oh, speaking of that, and that's actually a pretty good segue, and I didn't tell you about this earlier, but I was able to get us hooked up through a tracking software site, and there's going to be a survey. I'm going to set up a survey for our listeners to kind of fill out. It's like a really short, takes like 5 minutes, but it just gives us an idea of some of the demographics and, where we're at with listeners and stuff like that. So look for... probably next, it'll be up before this one goes out, but you'll know for sure once this one's out that there is a survey. It'll be on the web page. So when you go to like the craftinggeek.com, it opens up the blog, where all the posts are. It'll be at the bottom of every post once a week. We'll leave it up for a couple weeks, and we'll just see if we can get some response with that. So if all you listeners out there want to just help us out a little bit, answering that survey would be great. So
I like that.
Yeah, just some housekeeping things there. So what have you been working on, Jackie? Because we were talking about, let's just talk about some stuff we've been working on, because we're makers as well. And so what's going on? I see a pretty cool Farah chest behind you.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's all right. That's like the only thing that's semi-done. And like, it's all one color. So when I'm like, oh, it's done, but it's not done because I am going to tape it off like Eric does. I'm going to, tape it off. I can't even believe I'm going to do that. But I have to. So I have to fully wait for that to cure because I'm not going to be the person that puts tape on when it's not fully cured and then have it rip all of the other paint off because, believe it, I have done that. Of course I have. I have pulled paint off so many times when I put it on something else that wasn't cured. So that's the reason, partially why I don't paint. I'm just like, it's fine. It can all be muddied together, but not on this costume. This has to be like crisp.
So on your chest piece there, what's that created from?
That is, the beak is all freeform air. And everything else is foam. It's all foam. And it's still foam. It's just foam coated with Epsilon and then appliance epoxy to make it like glossy.
Oh, wow. I actually thought you cast that.
No, I didn't. I thought about it. I gave it a lot of thought about casting that. But I had so much done on that piece and I'm a noob with casting. And now that I have cast other pieces, I am glad I didn't because I would not have ever made that come out as good as it is there.
Well, that's why I was like, did you cast that? Because that's a big piece and not an easy piece to cast.
No, it's not. I cast the shoulders, though, and those were those big foam pieces, and those were really, really crappy to cast. I cast 4 of them because everything that I'm just like so novice at this level of crafting. Like this arena is new for me, and that's why this is taking a while. It's like, you know, I looked up like Harrison's how to make a matrix mold thing, and I've looked up like everybody, just about all my friends, anybody that has a tutorial, and I was like, I don't really need registration keys. It's fine. I'll make sure I get the mold back in there. What the hell is wrong, Jackie? I mean, like I ate it. I ate every bit of not doing that. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, the pain. And because so much went into making that huge mold that it was not advantageous to me time-wise to redo it. So I just literally had to finesse the mold and hope for the best. And so the first 2 were junky. Then I realized I really needed to make sure it matched back in there. And luckily there was enough crazy drips and junk to make it work.
To kind of line it up.
But trust me when I say never do that. Never do what I did. Like all the molds around me right now all have I cast a whole bunch of little bead things, like half beads. They all have registration keys. Even the smallest mold has registration keys because I have hand mold. I'm remolding the hand mold.
Gotcha.
Because there's certain things, and that's not even a registration key problem. That's that I was a noob to making molds and I didn't realize how much I really needed a lip on this certain area to create to make it not spill out everywhere and to also make it not have this super thin ridge at the top. It needed to be, uniform because I didn't want flimsy ridges because it's a curved piece. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I am molding.
And did you brush on mold those?
Yeah, I've brush on molded everything because I just have Rebound 25 and I had Mold Star before. So I'm because everything takes so long to get to me, I'm going forward with the Rebound. And I can make it work. It's been all right. I just may have to, on certain pieces, I may have to do more coats than normal because I need a ridged area. Or I may have to build up a support to be able to make a fake ridge, which now I'm learning. In the beginning, it was just kind of goop it on a piece of wax paper and just hope for the best.
Yeah, sometimes the dams can be very helpful as far as keeping your material where you need it to keep. So
yeah, and so that has been crazy. I cannot believe how hard mold making is. It literally, I've been so frustrated. I've learned so much though because I'm constantly out here and every single day is just a new thing and I have to research because you'll waste a lot and that is what gets you. And so I even something as crazy as I heated up my clay, monster clay, in my little frying pan thing that Jessica Drew told me to buy. It's $12 for heating up clay. And I poured it into a box mold and then pushed my thing down into it to clay it up to be molded. I don't even know how to explain what I did, but that's what I did. And so that was my first time doing that. And that
to
turned
do
out
your
really
to do
great.
your separation for your
To do my separation. And so
for
I'm
a
really
two-part
happy.
mold.
And I'm lazy and I never wanted to do that. So I always was like, whatever, like it's not necessary. But I know it's necessary. I'm not stupid. We're not stupid. We're just in a hurry.
Well, if you start molding and casting and you're doing two-part molds, the thing you learn very quickly is that there's more to claying the piece than the actual mold itself. And so I always say molding is claying. Because when you're doing two-part molds anyway, it's just like all the work is in the claying. It's like doing the mold doesn't take any time. It's
that's just like easy repetition of just like gooping stuff on or like
exactly. But it's like getting that barrier, that halfway barrier for your two-part mold and getting it where you want it. And I've done a couple swords, so when I do a sword and it's a two-part mold, you have like one line you have to follow, and that's that line of the edge of the blade all the way around that sword, and that line has to be perfect. It can't like waver at all, because if it does, you have like a little bit of a waver in that fine edge of your sword. So yeah, the first time I did a sword, which was the Sif sword that I sold for several years. It took me 10 hours to clay it.
See, that makes me manic. Like, I think about that, and I'm like, oh.
I thought it was going to take me 2.
Oh man, I'm used to whipping things out fast. Like I've been spoiled with like foam and Warbler for the last couple of years, because like it was not a problem I was like end of the day I'd have something like fully done, ready for priming, no problem. But that's not the case with this stuff. It doesn't feel like that. It's like I may have it fully primed and ready for like filler and sanding, and then it still has to be clayed and molded or whatever. Like, get out, man. But I mean, I guess the advantage is I can replicate it. It's like, that's nice if I do. Like, I'm the only reason I'm putting so much effort into like the stupid helmet and stuff is because I'm going to replicate it. And I keep thinking of like little shoulder devils and angels of like my friends being like, oh, but it's fine, it's good enough, you can fix it later, and then being like, but every time you pull that mold, you're gonna have to fix it.
You have to fix it, and that's the thing.
I don't want that.
And that's why guys like Harrison and stuff spend so much time making their masters as perfect as possible, because especially if you're pulling a lot of replications off of something. And in all honesty, that's why I stopped. I don't sell my Sif sword anymore, because my molds, I could still mold it, but the mold's old. It's had like, I don't even know. I lost count of how many pulls it's had out of it, but the mold's almost 2.5, almost 3 years old. And it was just tin cure silicone to begin with, and which doesn't last nearly as long as like a platinum, and I can still get pulls out of it, but the cleanup is too much work, and so it's just like, I'm done selling that. And I still have people email me, hey, I noticed it's not on your store anymore. Nope, not selling it anymore. And mostly, it's like I could remold it, but
dude, it's like time and effort.
I honestly do not want to take the time, and I've done so many copies of that sword. I'm honestly sick of looking at it.
Yeah,
it's like I don't want to look at it anymore. I don't care if the mold's perfectly clean and I can just pull a cast out of it and put it straight into a tube and ship it off. It's like I'm tired of looking at it.
You're not a factory. You don't want to be a factory.
And that's hard, because it's like it's a blessing and a curse if you.
It is,
if you create something to sell, and it's not. I don't have a business. I just sell things to make extra money. That's what pays for my materials and pays for me to go to cons and stuff, right? So, in my commission work, it's all kind of on the side. I have a full-time job, so I don't really need the money per se. It just helps supplement the fun I want to have. But so if something sells well, it's kind of like, really? Because now I have to sit and make these things. So I caution anybody. It's like,
But isn't that wwhy you have children? Like, just to get them to do it. I thought that was why.
You don't know my kids very well.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. You're like, look, guys, you can split the profit with them.
No, I would make them work for free.
Oh man,
it's like it's a shared thing. You live in my house. You can do some work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I pay for your gas money. I pay for your your food.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I know the Wonder Woman sword, which is what I've been working on lately.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
getting
that's gonna be
so
cool.
close to being done with it.
Why did you only put up a 14-second video of that stupid handle? Tell me more. Like, I clicked on it and I was like, this is clickbait, Eric. What the heck? You're not telling me anything. I get so mad because I'll see like a new video up from you and it'll come up on my playlist and like, I can't see the time like on my TV. So I just like flip through and it's like so fast segments of everything. And I want details. I want to know how you did it, how long it took you. Like, oh man.
Well, I haven't been shooting video along the way though, so I don't really have any more to show other than still photos. I mean, I try every project I work on, I try to remember to take still photos along the way, and then every once in a while I'll be like, oh hey, maybe I should take a video of this, and I'll take like a 10-second video because you can see angles better, you know, and
in the video,
than like a still shot, and so every once in a while I just post a work in progress of a video so people get an idea of what the full thing looks like. But yeah, I like to tease a little, I guess.
No, it's good though. I'm just giving you crap.
So.
But I like the little quick videos. I mean, I've been doing that too on my Instagram mainly because like if I took a photo of myself holding that prop and I posted it, people would be like, "What the heck is she captive somewhere?" Because I have like a mask on, goggles. My hair is completely powdered because when I'm dremeling, like the dust, you know, the white epoxy dough dust comes back on me. I look like I've been antiqued. And LOL, antique this. Like I look crazy, and then my shoulders are covered, my arms are covered. Last night, my legs were completely pink with epoxy or with spot putty dust.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. I got in the shower and I was like, it just was rinsing down the drain. And I'm like, this is so weird. Like I was washing my hair last night thinking, I never in all my life thought I would be where I am. Like I was a makeup loving kind of girl when I was younger. I followed around a Mary Kay lady since I was 14 through 18. Like I was a Hooters girl in college. Like, don't hate, guys. You can be smart and want to make money too. And it was just serving chicken wings, guys. And I went to school for biology. I just never in a million years thought I would be where I am, like covered in Bondo and spot putty and like my fingernail polishes. I posted a thing this morning about how I've been using acetone to feather my spot putty, which is wonderful. Works magically. Helps my sanding a lot. I broke my glove and took my nail polish off on 2 nails. So, yay.
So I've never heard of smoothing.
I got it from the freaking Sentra people on their website. I was ordering some Sentra for my Pharaoh wings.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a big article on their website. It's like how to use this stuff and common uses. And I was like, I'll give this a gander. You know, why not? So I got to reading that you can use acetone to feather any kind of bondos and spot putties, and it works so well. I love it. It has changed the game for me because it's crazy what it does on a 3D prop. Like the amount of sanding is minimal, and you can also use Vicks Vapor Rub for epoxy putty or epoxy dough.
Really?
Yeah, Vicks
crazy.
Vapor Rub. I know, and alternatively mineral spirits.
Yeah,
it's got me thinking like I don't really want to ever use Vicks Vapor Rub again if I can use it in place of mineral spirits. Like no thanks, guys.
I don't know. I'm not sure what smells worse.
I don't know. Anything that has a very strong smell, I always am thinking like brain cells. Brain cells are dying. Oh gosh,
right. Yeah. Mineral spirits isn't too bad, I suppose.
It's not that bad, but it has such heavy warnings that it freaks me out. It's like because the smell dissipates really quickly because it evaporates really quickly.
Well, and I always wear a respirator when I use it anyway. But
me too. Yeah. Only because I'm scared of like.
Well, you should be. I mean, we all should be scared.
Yeah, we all should be scared.
I mean, you look at somebody like when we talked to Evil Ted, right? You know, what was his comment about working with all the stuff that we've been learning to work with? Yeah, I don't do that anymore. Tired of all the chemicals. Right. Yeah.
Well, that's what makes me happy for certain things that like are low odor or are no odor. Like things like, when you're mixing like silicones and stuff, it's not like you have to wear your respirator. I mean, obviously you have to be safe with everything, but they don't put off a really deadly odor.
Yeah. And I also think that's one thing that kind of, the people that like to kind of hate on Warbler, I think they kind of forget the part that it's non-toxic and
yes, exactly.
And it's a material you can create with, but it doesn't create anything toxic when you're working with it, know. So I think I
always tell people like if you get one sheet and you have a small child, you can do a lot with one sheet. So you think about it, like you're not damaging anything, it's not harmful to your kids. So it's fine, like you have to. There's certain things that you weigh in cost, the medical bills later because you let your kid go crazy with some styrofoam in their bedroom,
Yeah, exactly.
People are doing that, but It's crazy.
So I've decided that you were talking about, being covered in dust and stuff. I've decided that that we could probably coin that as a shop Yeti.
A shop Yeti?
Yeah.
Why?
Covered in white, covered in white. So you come out looking like a shop Yeti. It's like stuff all over you.
It's pretty crazy. I try to walk out of the door and shake it all off because the dust, like I have good dust collection, but I don't think I talked about this on the podcast. So there's this guy, Jay Bates. He's a woodworker, and he, as you guys know, you can get allergies and like you can develop like intolerances to everything. You can develop an intolerance to naturally occurring resins, to epoxy resins. You can develop an intolerance to silicones, like uncured silicone in your skin. You can have a really bad allergic reaction. Wood is the same way.
Yep.
If you go, you can read up about woodworkers that have been doing it for like 30 years and then they develop a huge allergy, especially like this really sappy northern wood. I read this guy that developed, he had like an asthmatic attack, like really bad, like anaphylactic actually, sorry. And it was really bad. And Jay Bates had some crazy sinus infection and like had to get like some bored out situation done. And he couldn't work in his shop for like 3 to 4 months. So he spent that whole time researching dust collection and fixing it. And he bought this this crazy thing that gathers the amount of particulates in your air in your house or your shop or outside, whatever. And when he goes into his shop now, it's less than his house. And that's like dust collection dreams. Like, dude, I need that so bad.
Yeah, and dust collection that's like tough for anybody. Even if you have good dust collection, it's still hard to keep dust down because of all the materials that we use.
It's expensive to do a really proper, I mean, I'm talking every station, every setup, like, oh gosh, could you imagine
it is.
thousands? Ugh.
It is. Sometimes it's more expensive than some of the tools you use,
Yeah.
So and I just, speaking of like shops, I just expanded my shop. It basically doubled my floor space.
Oh, that's awesome.
For what I consider my dirty room.
Did you make your daughter remove her car or something?
No, I have this weird garage setup where, so this room is a quarter of the garage. This room I'm in right here that you see.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Weird.
Yeah. So, but when and actually that you can't see it obviously on the, if you're not watching the video, but where that wall is right there behind me, where that door is, that wall goes further that way. I'm sorry, the other way, that way. And and it splits my garage in half, but it splits it short. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So there's my garage front where you can open the 2 doors, but the garage itself it's great for motorcycles.
So the depth is very short.
Yeah, because they cut it in half across.
So a car could never go in it because it'd run through the wall.
Unless it's a mini or probably a mini, a mini or maybe a smart car. Either one of those would fit.
So you have a pretty large, a really deep garage. Then if it's the room you're sitting in, and it also could hold maybe a Mini Cooper, like that's a pretty big garage.
Yeah, it actually was a huge garage. So what I ended up doing is the room across from me, which is there, I basically opened the one bay up, so I have one full bay side now, which is great because I have a whole lot more space.
I love space.
Which means space for more tools, basically.
Yeah, more tools. But yeah, my area, this is brand new and it's still getting cluttered. And so space for tools is something that I really need. We don't have space for a table saw right now, like a reasonable one. But the upstairs, why did I make this 2 stories and never do anything with the upstairs? Like the upstairs, I took a video when I was going up there looking for costumes. It's all crap that just, oh my gosh. So sorry, I just mid-thought, as I said costume, remembered that I have a costume sitting in the back of my car right now. Oh, and it's hot today. Oh my gosh. Well,
is it Warbler?
Oh yeah, it's Warbler. No. It's Warbler and other things. No,
you need
it's
to go
fine.
grab it? Okay.
It's at what time it is, it's fine. I'll get it later. I mean, it's not. It's so funny because I have a lot of friends that say that stuff has died in their car. Like I left King Varian and my dredge in the car for like 3 weeks. Not kidding. I was so bad. It was from PAX East.
So was that for cosplay emergencies then?
Yeah. So it was like if I'm at the grocery store and
just in case you're somewhere and you need a costume.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
All right.
So it's funny because they survived fine. And I'm talking, they were in the 90s and like bacon in the car. And the car was probably in the hundreds. And I get that things melt and they fall, maybe in like Arizona, but I kind of just like mush it while it's still warm after I pull it out of the car. I kind of just like mush it back together.
It's kind of like, it's about the right shape.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I don't know. I haven't had those issues.
So isn't it funny how? Because I've noticed this with myself too. It's like when you're building the costume and you're making the prop or whatever, it has to be perfect. And then when you're done, once it's done, it's like okay, kind of anything can happen to it after that.
Dude, that's a thought I had yesterday. So as I thought of the costume being in the car yesterday, it's been in there since I did this. I did like a kids public library event for comic book day, and I wore my costume. So it's been in there since then. I have enough hours in that daggone costume to make it worth $10,000 to me. Like, but here it is baking in the sun.
Yeah, and you're like, eh.
Here's the crazy part is like, well, I mean, it totally is that mentality. What the heck is wrong with us? Because I should hold that thing in the highest esteem. I should tuck it into bed at night beside me.
Well, just the hours alone that you spend on it, right? Just
that's what I'm saying. The hours alone make it worth $10,000. It's worth half my year's salary, if I paid myself, poverty level. So it's like, it's crazy that in that costume, a fun fact about my Braveheart Lion is I bought leftovers of the scales cut for the Warcraft movie. So all those scales are the Stormwind armor scales.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you find those?
Ringlord. I love Ringlord.
Oh, really? Oh, they used Ringlord?
Yeah, well, Ringlord seems to be like almost everybody's go-to. I was looking at so even NASA uses them for the little I bought like a pack of this leftover they had like 3,000 extra scales from some like satellite thing. I don't know, which is so weird to me. Yeah, but they're super idea. Shiny. Yeah, they've done so many movies, so I always keep up with their newsletter to see like if they're gonna have anything fun. And when I saw those Warcraft one go up, I just had like goosebumps all over.
I have to have
way
those.
More. Like I didn't even use the blue ones. I have the Stormwind blue ones. I have so many, and like I want to make a blanket out of it. I just love it. But now most of them are sold out, and so I'm really happy that I got the ones. It's odd because I tweeted about them. And I tweeted at Adam Savage. Yeah. And then they were all gone, but one color. And I was like, no wonder if Adam Savage bought them because he's a Warcraft movie fan. Not like he ever saw my message, but maybe. But he's somebody that likes replicas. And so people that like replicas would buy them.
So now that you've mentioned that, you're going to start getting some emails. Hey, got any more of those Warcraft?
Yes, I do. Sure do. Make a blanket out of them. But
you're going to make a blanket.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Speaking of the Warcraft movie, I love. Oh yeah, actually, this is a good segue. But I won't go into this. I was going to it, but I love the Warcraft movie. I don't care what you say. If you hate it, that's terrible. I'm sorry that you hate it. I love it so much. I love Warcraft lore. I've read the books. I'm a nerd. I get there are certain things that are different, but everything about it was wonderful for me, except for Paula Patton as Garona. I did not like. I like Paula Patton, but I didn't want her as Garona. And also King Lane, I didn't like King Lane, the guy that played King Lane. Lothar was great, but King Lane was like, meh, wasn't a very strong actor. Otherwise, fine. Even like Dorky Khadgar was pretty good. So, anyways. That's
cool. I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Well, I held off. This is so dorky, but like I love WoW so much. I held off for a while because I was like, man, I really don't want to hate it. I don't want to hate it. Everybody was being so mean about it.
No, I completely get that, though. It's like when there's something you really love and, there's some other piece out there and it's like, do you take that risk of liking it less or something, So,
yeah, but I love, and like, that's the first time I've ever done that with anything. Like this was that thing that I was just like, man, I want to like watch it by myself, like really enjoy it and pay a lot of attention. And so I did, and I loved it. But something that when this comes out, this will have already been out for a while and maybe a new episode, but finally, that Hearthstone series is out.
Finally!
Oh my gosh. I have
oh my gosh. The actor kills me. He's so funny.
His name's Henry, and like he's the voice of like Volvo and all these other companies. It's really funny. He's done a ton of voice acting. He's a voice actor. Those of you that love anime or have kids that love anime, he is a famous voice actor from this famous anime that I can't remember the name of. And I wish if I said it, you guys would be like, oh my gosh, I love that. But he has like a huge fan base for this anime guy. I forgot to tweet about that. Yeah, and it's so crazy. I saw it on like all of he has like a portfolio sheet. And so the guy that did Gul'dan is his name's Anthony, and he's this like 6'5" black guy.
He's like really tall.
Awesome. He was like so sweet and so nice, and then he hunched over. I was like, dude, this is crazy. And when you see Jaina, oh, so much fun.
How many? Do you know how many more like spots they shot or they put together?
Oh, well, I watched. There was enough for like a whole like long show. So there's so many funny skits. So I'm curious to see. I was interested. I thought that was the end because they shot when he's shaking the thing. That was the last scene they shot that day.
Oh, really?
So I was like, oh, yeah. And there's so much. There's like driving in a car. There's a lot of stuff. We had to make the costumes like be able to be like in the end you see of that skit, Uther's like sitting down, and we needed to be, he had to sit down. And the craziest thing about working on a commercial, oh my gosh, I forgot I could talk about this now. I'm so excited. Like, I have so many behind the scenes photos I have been dying to share. Like, I've been sitting, I had to scroll back through my phone so far, and I'm like, finally.
Yeah, that was like almost a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, no, it was last December.
Okay, so
it wrapped on December 17th.
So half a year.
Yeah, so it was a really long time.
That's still a long time.
That is like half a year. Holy crap.
Yeah.
The producer sent me an email this morning about it, and I talked to the director in March because we were like, when's it coming out? But they were like making it their baby because they've had such other issues, like bad fan response from the like TV commercials for Hearthstone. They had Blizzard staff like on site that were like lore experts that wrote this thing. They wrote all the jokes, and
I was wondering about that, what the creative team was like, if they were using like mostly Blizzard people or what. But
yeah, the head honchos, the clients, as like we referred to them, because I was a costume assistant.
Yeah,
so I did all the armor. I did all the armor, and then I got to hire Jen and Liz to help me. So, but I didn't do any of the fabric stuff. I painted all the fabric stuff and weathered it, but I did not do any of the fabric. So. Like the skirt on Uther, I didn't make that, and I won't take credit for that because that's not what I did. Not like that skirt.
What's the was the armor all foam?
The armor's okay. So the chest piece is covered in Warbla. Okay. It was very hard to make costumes to someone's measurements because I was by myself on the armor for a lot of it until I got to bring the girls on, and like thank God because I needed them the last week. And
so you didn't have a body or a body cast there to work off of?
Not a body cast. But the people that did the prosthetics and stuff, they did do head casts and stuff with the actors. The actors did come by for fittings. And I had their measurements. So I had like a lot of dress forms to choose from. Yeah. So I would, I patterned on the dress forms, and I had a Jaina. The Jaina was pretty good. It was pretty spot on. I made that breastplate twice because I coated it in XTC. I needed, all of Jaina's stuff is coated in XTC, and the chest piece for Uther is, and then the shoulders are just foam. Everything's foam. The eagle's foam, the shoulders foam. That was a lot of work. But it's crazy because I made that Jaina breastplate twice, and the first time I used old XTC, and it didn't cure.
Oh, yeah, and that blows.
It's still in Liz's garage, and like I set the grommets in the back and everything, and it was this beautiful corseted chest piece. And the pattern that's for sale on my site is actually that pattern that you'll get to see in the commercial. And now I can say that, like once it's out, I'm gonna be like, as seen in the Hearthstone commercial. So it's it was really fun to pattern that out. And the second one I made a little bit differently, and I made like like Liz casted this beautiful gem that you'll see in Jaina's thing and made the staff, and then I put the wiring in it to make it light up 2 different colors because they, of course, it's for Blizzard. So when they say they want something to light up, I'm like, I'm gonna make it really light up. So Jaina has like green or blue depending on if you're like, here's the storm or traditional WoW. So I made a little like DPDT switch so you could do 2 different colors. And so on set, we show the director. I'm like, Liz, show him. And Liz like flips the switch up, and it's like green, and flips it down, and it's blue. And it was like, yeah. So we had so much fun doing that. But the craziest thing about working on set on a commercial is that someone must be on the set at all times. Like someone from the costume department must always be right there. So like every time you see a scene, one of us is right at the doorway. Right there because waiting. If anything happens, there's no waiting. You cannot be like in Hollywood or whatever, you can't make anyone wait. No. And it was a full production, like very crazy. It was very professional, and it was filmed in Blizzard's esports wing, which was really cool to get to go. And like I saw a bunch of people's desks of like people, like friends I know, like Kiki, and it was crazy. Like we of course we had to be careful and not touch anyone's desk or anything, but it was fun to just get to like look at all the stuff, like statues and all the it was just neat, man.
So it was actually filmed at their offices. That's pretty cool.
Yes, and I got there at like 5:30 in the morning and like pulled into the Blizzard. And I was just like, oh gosh, this is the dream. Like this is my dream job.
So you have to be there while they're filming and everything. Did everything go without a hitch for the most part while filming, or did you have did you have emergencies after emergency that you had to respond to?
Okay, so I have to say this. if you ever get the opportunity to work on something that you're actually going to have a lead on, like you say, like I was responsible for doing the armor. You need to make sure that you are like there with production when the design process happens. If you're third party, if you're actually like, so it goes client, then direction team, then costume designer, then you as the assistant. Yeah. So if you're 4 people down for the direction of the costume and you get like a sketch that's like from the costume design and it was approved by production, but the client actually said they wanted something different, it's just better to start from the beginning. It's like it was a wonderful job. I'm very grateful for it. Blizzard was incredible. I love them. The director, the producers, so amazing. But you really kind of have to make sure that it all comes back on you. If you produce something that's wrong, the client doesn't know that you didn't get the memo because you're the assistant. So like you have to just make it work. So I brought 2 airbrushes, paint galore. I literally was outside at 6 a.m. repainting Jaina's shoulders because they were the wrong color. Oh, no. I painted them based on a sketch. Oh, no. And that was not, and I knew in my heart of hearts that I should have gone with just the actual character image, the actual picture of the character. And I did a little bit more with Uther, but then I got nervous because I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't have any contact with them. I don't know if this is right. And I know Blizzard though. And I thought, what does your heart tell you? Your heart tells you to do it right. So like I made some creative choices and I'm so glad I did because they worked out because I knew I'm somebody when I love something so much, I do a lot of research on it and I try to make sure it's right. So I repainted the shoulders and I'm literally walking through set. They're filming the other characters and I paint it really fast and I got to go to so this is unusual, but like I got to go to the Blizzard clients. So, like they're all sitting in a special room and I walk up and I'm like holding the wet shoulder, like running through and you have to wait. You have to like wait until like cut and then you go through quietly through the back and I take out there and I'm like, is this fine? And he's like, oh, could it be a little bit more this color? I'm like, yeah, of course.
Oh,
like I will not argue with you. Yeah. If you say this, yes. So there I am back out there and like I had no tape. So like I couldn't tape off the beautiful gold I'd created. That also ended up having to be changed. And the entire color of her trim had to be changed. The whole trim, all the gold trim on all of Jaina's costume was the wrong color. So
and you had to change it on the fly?
Yeah, Liz and Jen painted it. And we straight up painted it. Like we were like, yeah, of course we can change it. Because you don't want, I mean, all I wanted was success.
Yeah.
And so I go back out, paint the Jaina thing again, run through, it's still not right. It's close. He's like, get in there. And I'm like, all right. So I go back and I come back and I'm like, Liz, can you mix, can you help me with this paint? Liz mixes the color, like out of the colors we have and matches it perfectly. Nice. And I'm so grateful. So I spray it and he's like, that's exactly what we want. It's wet.
That's it. Yeah. You're like,
it's like freezing outside. It's 6:30 in the morning, so it's super cold. It's not drying, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to put this on with a girl like this. So we get everything else on her, and then wait till the last minute to snap the shoulders in.
Wow! And was it acrylic paint? Is that what you're using? Was acrylic?
It was acrylic paint. It was like Createx and stuff. So it was So it does take a look. You know, Createx, as y'all know, it's not gonna dry, quote unquote, or cure at 50 degrees in the morning.
No.
So it was stinky and I felt really bad. And I brought lacquer to like spray too because I wanted the gloss. So I was like drying it and stuff. But man, it was the hardest, most rewarding thing I have done to date. And I would do that crazy hectic thing every day until I couldn't do it anymore because pleasing the client and seeing their face and the actor's face, like how much they love it. Like, oh man, it feels good. It feels so good. Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't. No, don't be sorry. Awesome.
I just got so excited. I just
it's awesome to finally hear about it because I knew that you worked on it and you were able to give me a little bit of information, but not really discuss it. And just getting that insight and hearing about it. And I'm sure everybody that's listening is like, wow, that's amazing. Because, who gets the opportunity to do that kind of stuff?
Yeah. And I am thankful
not many people. So it's just like, I love hearing about it. I feel
like I got the job in like a weird way that's like kind of low key. So that's the only reason I'm not like shouting from the rooftops how I got the job. But I am grateful to the person that got me the job and I'm very thankful. So if you are listening, thank you so much. And Jen and Liz, man. And Jen, by the way, when I say Jen, I mean Jen, she was on Cosplay Melee. It's Jingle Boo Boo. And then Liz is like, Liz Rickley. So
Liz, that Liz girl.
We had so much fun. Gosh, it was crazy and fun. Like, man, we were crazy. We had like when you guys see some of the stuff that happened, like, oh man, it was really weird. Like Liz even filmed like a time lapse she put her phone on her car, and we're all like in the garage just going nuts.
Just going for it. So how many days did that only shoot a couple days or one day, or
It
was
shot
there
2 days, but I was in
2
California
days?
for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I lived with Liz, and I built it, and I rented a car, and I drove back and forth to LA and worked in a shop, and the drive back and forth to LA, it was so bad that, oh, sorry, I hit the mic. It was so bad that it was more advantageous on days that I needed to like paint and stuff for me to be at Liz's. So like I would, ask if I could stay at Liz's and work. Yeah. And luckily you could, obviously if I get an extra day to work on something, I'm not at home lounging. I was working. And like,
no. Yeah. You're like, I'm staying at home and working.
I feel like it could be a little tricky with a job to like say that someone can work from home, but like what if they're not really, But,
yeah, especially if it's somebody you haven't worked with before or something. They don't know your work ethic, and so it's just like but they trust you by you showing up with finished pieces in the end, right? And that's how you
and I sent pictures and stuff. So
and that's why that reputation's so important.
Oh yes, reputation is everything, and that's like I feel like I definitely gave it my all, and I made a really good impression. The director actually contacted me about another job that was something that I wasn't sure if I was equipped for, but I told him I'd be down to do it. And it was like these EL wire suits, like glowing suits. So it's nice that that you've made a good impression if someone reaches out to you for another job. Like that you've done good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it was crazy though. But gosh, man, I loved working for Blizzard. They love what they do, and like those the gold dance, like the head cast and stuff. The guy that did the prosthetics, like Henry, those are cheek prosthetics, a beard and the wig, obviously. But the cheek prosthetics look so real. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even recognize him when they got him all done up.
Yeah.
It was just, and the Goldan guy, they did like a mouth cast and everything. So it fit so well. Like he could move, and everybody, you had like a straw and you were giving him water and stuff through the little straw, and man, it was cool. And they had a freaking special effects guy. Like, dude, this is so funny. But there we are, like the costume department. And it's only me, Jen, Liz, and 2 other people. Oh, our seamstress also. She is the bomb, Rosa. I love Rosa. So it was only our little team, and we had to obviously take care of the costumes. But the cool part was, if you guys saw in the commercial, the guy with the coffee mug, the guy Goldan with the coffee mug, the fell blood. Yeah. There's a guy off in the side that's the special effects guy with dry ice. And he like says like special effects and stuff, and he's like coming on stage and he has like his mixture and he pours it in there. And there's other parts in the skits you'll see with that. Yeah. But I thought, like, what a cool dude! Like that guy's just showing up on set just to like be the dry ice guy.
Just to be the guy on set to make things look cool.
The whole like running of it, like that whole thing was so professional, so well put together, so funny. Like they the set design, like there's another team of set design. Like you don't realize this. Yes, it's in Blizzard's office, but the set design girl is incredible. Her and her team, they had like sticky notes all around the computers and stuff you'll see that are they put them there. It's all tailored. Nothing is like left over from the staff, obviously, because inside secrets and stuff. But every single thing you see is placed there by someone.
Because they want a specific look, not just So they're going to dress up the set, even though it's a real location. They're going to dress up the set to whatever they think the look that they're going for.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a really cool production to have been a part of.
It was, and like I recommend,
and it was funny. So
and it was. There were certain parts when I was just like. I was splitting over in tears, like just laughing, because we got to watch, like the Blizzard people had this setup area where they were watching the filming, and we got to just stand and hang out with them and watch it, which was really cool. And it's really cool. We got to eat lunch on Blizzard campus and stuff. We got it was so cute and fun. Oh my gosh, I just loved it. Oh, I loved it so much. But if you ever get the opportunity to do a job like this, or to do any kind of on-set job, doesn't matter if it's like a Sprite commercial or a Pepsi commercial or whatever, anything awesome. Professionalism is something that we don't know. Like, I'm not trained, and I had never worked on set before, and I did not know like all these little things, but don't be afraid to ask anyone first. Like, don't just walk on set and don't interrupt, or don't, even when you don't know if something's going on, ask before you walk anywhere. Ask before you open a door. Everything. Be like, is it fine if I go out here? Is it fine if I do this? Like, ask a lower level assistant. Don't go bothering the director. But like, you're supposed to say things like costume on set, costume coming through, things like that. Like, there's just all these little like specifics. If you borrow something from someone, you like label it and set it back down on this area, and it's just, there's all these manners and things that you don't realize. And so, the biggest rule of all, don't do someone else's job. I learned that fast. So,
wow.
like Gul'dan's beard and stuff, like it needed to be adjusted, and I needed to be able to get to the straps to adjust his thing. And like, you technically can't do that. It's like union regulations.
Yeah. So the hair and makeup person has to do that, right?
Yeah, because you can't take a job from someone else. And so same thing with like, if there's a craft services guy and they need food on set, it can't be like this crossover. Like, there has to be someone that does like the food on set, like a caterer for the food thing. They can't just like bring food from craft services. So they want to make sure that there's always jobs for everyone, which I guess can be tricky, and love it or hate it. It fuels the industry. But
was that hard? Was that difficult for you at all? Because I think you and I are probably similar. Like, I'm the kind of person that, like, if I see a need, I'll just like fulfill that need, right? That's the kind of person I am. If I'm in that kind of situation, it's like, hey, someone needs to. Okay, I'll just step over and do it. You know. And I can see how that would be kind of a difficult thing where it's like,
I want to be we want to be helpful.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so that can be tricky, but it's, man, it's crazy. You definitely have to make sure that you follow all the rules. I mean, it's a different environment. I'm from the South, and like, people are different here. Honestly, like, if saying that, you may be like, oh, people are the same. That's such a dumb thing to say. It's really true. People in Southern California are not the same as people in North Carolina. They aren't. It's just look how far away we are. We're countries apart, technically, in space wise. So it's just, luckily I move at a fast pace. That's just the way I am. And things move at a fast pace there. And so you have to be able to keep up. You can't be a sloth, dude. And I witnessed that. I witnessed, like, watching people, or a couple people that are just kind of like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And it's like, it's everybody's so demanding that you just you get swept like in a little tornado. So you have to be an effective, polite tornado, or you get left behind. You really do. You're like a heavy weight that just gets, sinks into the ground. Sorry, my phone, I should turn I don't know why I didn't turn the sound off before.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah.
So
anyways. I could just gab for days. So.
Yeah, we could gab forever. So you have Farah going on.
Yeah.
Do you have any other project you're working on right now, or is Farah your main focus?
I am. Farah is my big focus, and I'm working with. I was telling you earlier, the DIY animatronics guy. He is amazing. If you do not know who that is, DIY animatronics on Instagram, you have to follow this person.
Yeah, he is amazing. I found his page because of you, and I was like, this guy's amazing.
I shared that little rocket launcher. I was like, oh my gosh. And he's doing this like Stargate helmet. That's
the Stargate helmet. I love the Stargate stuff. I've always wanted to do some kind of Stargate thing, It's just like, so amazing.
It's amazing. And he's doing these wings for another girl that all four independently move independently. And they're like, I don't want to give it away because she obviously is going to, it's like a secret. He has to keep it a secret for her because she's going to show it. But all four move independently. It's really cool. And then for me, we actually met because of the podcast, and we're talking about he has taught me so much that I can't believe it. I approached him with the type of motor or linear actuator I had for my fair wings and what I wanted to do. And he just revamped it and gave me some of the most insightful ideas and approach things I hadn't thought of. Because a lot of times you just don't know what something is. You don't know what it's called to Google it. And he's taught me so much. I can't even, I look at things differently now. I'm like, oh man, I was throwing something out and I was like, oh, I wonder what I could take out of that. I don't want to throw it away. Like, I could use some of that stuff.
Oh, and I didn't know this either until we talked about it, but he has a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. And oh man, it is.
Is he just DIY animatronics there too, or?
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. And it's amazing. He will teach you everything about analog or digital servos, or like Arduino, Raspberry Pi, differences in soldering irons. I mean, multimeters. You can't go wrong. Like, this guy he does like basics and intros, and he'll show you like how to wire just like basic things and why things exist the way they do, and how to he makes his own little like custom battery packs and stuff. He does like, he tapes batteries onto this board and tells you all the differences between all these batteries.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Holy crap. It is the best class. Like, I've watched so many YouTube videos, and so far this guy has taught me more than everyone else combined. Everyone. Wow. And I watch Adafruit's live feeds.
Yeah,
most of them, I have to Google what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't even know what the use in that is. And they're great. Like, I love Adafruit, but but DIY animatronics is like my jam. I need him to make more videos, but he's helping me, so I'm excited about that. And then I also, my date for this just changed, so I'm really excited because I want it to be really good, but I'm releasing a pattern with simplicity for foam making.
Oh,
and
wow.
It won't be out for a while because they take the pattern a lot earlier than they actually release it. So I think it'll be out in spring of next year, but it could be earlier, it could be winter, I'm not sure. But it's going to be a full body, I'm talking all kinds of pieces. So it's going to be something that's really expandable and very friendly to all shapes and sizes. So
it's an armor pattern then?
Full armor, and I've got hand armor, I've got everything.
Wow.
So it's so far I've created them, and it works on my body, and it will work on my brother's fiance, and she's a quarter of my size, she's like a half, way less than half of my size.
Yeah.
So it's extremely adjustable, and that is the first time I've created something that is that adjustable. So I'm excited about it.
Is that kind of a first for the pattern industry, for the main pattern people? I'm just trying to think of it. Do any of the others, are they doing? I mean, I know like some of them are doing cosplay specific material patterns, but this might be
Firefly Designs. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't. I don't.
They do some of the most like beautiful gowns I've ever seen, but they have available now a Zelda pattern, so like the shoulders and the crown.
Oh, gotcha. Are they a major pattern company though?
No, that's their like page, and they're with Simplicity.
Oh, gotcha.
But both Simplicity and McCall's, I spoke to both before I went with Simplicity, and I didn't go anywhere with McCall's. I just chose Simplicity.
Yeah.
They're both great companies, amazing companies. There's no like fighting there with them.
No.
I love cosplay culture. Simplicity owns Cosplay Culture, the magazine. I've been subbed to them since they've existed, and
they own that.
Yeah, well, their parent company does.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh. So they're like part of a corporation, apparently. I didn't realize they're kind of conglomerate.
No, I didn't either. I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea. I've just learned. So I'm working with them, and they've been so wonderful, and I'm really excited. I think that they're also working. I know two other people are working with. So I think it's going to be a lot of stuff. Like I think next year you guys are going to see both McCall's and Simplicity really
up the pattern game.
Yeah, and that's going to be great for you guys because I think that I have a lot of people that patterns are their thing. And so when I went into creating this, I thought every step along the way, I thought like, how can I make this as easy as possible and with at-home materials and not having to have my whole shop of stuff. And I didn't use a Dremel. I'm holding back. I'm not sanding or dremeling anything. It's all going to be just cuts, and it's gonna. I'm going to do a whole video series on how to put it together. So
cool.
I'm excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. You definitely have several irons in the fire, as they say.
And I've like chatted so much that I don't even. What are you even doing, Eric? What are you even doing with your life?
The thing is it's okay because I've been kind of low key lately. So
and what you have coming up will be NDA anyway. So I'll just have to talk about my stuff.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that. Did the shop? Well, the problem with my shop expansion was the room I expanded into was formerly a storage room. So we had to go through a whole lot of stuff. So, and that took like a month just to do that kind of whole swap of getting rid of things that we don't need anymore and finding new places for old things. And it just took
rid of things. Oh, what?
Oh yeah. We took like, I don't know, a couple loads in our van of stuff to the dump. So,
oh my gosh. Well, I've been giving stuff away too.
And that's of like the stuff that's just like maybe personal stuff that you don't want and nobody else is going to want. But my wife makes like, weekly runs to Goodwill for donations. So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And then beyond that, just working on my Wonder Woman sword. And I don't really have anything else in the hopper for now. The other project that I've spoke about that I can't speak about is still kind of in this holding phase. It's moving slowly. I wish it would move quicker because I'm starting to get nervous about deadlines and things.
Oh, wow. So, I feel you on that.
So, but it's not a done deal yet, but it's still moving forward. So, but other than that, I don't have anything else lined up. I just have a lot of Wonder Women going, hey, man, where's that sword?
Oh, man. Yeah. Gosh.
I have so many cosplayers that want this sword now. So it's just like.
When does the movie come out? It's soon, isn't it?
The movie comes out in a couple weeks. It's like June 3rd or June 8th or something like that.
Hey,
so
I need to get a Wonder Woman pattern up for sale.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
I should.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my gosh.
my goal has always been to have some ready to go by the time um the well, to definitely have the kits ready to go because I'm going to sell it. So, and I've had, maybe I should just talk about that real quick. People have asked me, are you selling it? And it's like, yes, I'm going to sell kits of it, which are, basically a full cast version that you have to clean up and paint yourself. And then I am going to do a limited version of a fully finished sword too. So
Okay.
I haven't decided how limited that's going to be yet because it's going to depend on my mold and what paint I end up using and all these things I kind of need to test once I get casts out of it. If it's not too bad of a process, I'll probably do more. If it's a process that I hate, it'll be very limited, like 5.
Oh man.
Because I really, when it comes to repainting things like more than once, it's like I really hate replicating repaints on things. So my fully finished version, I might offer like 5 or 10 of them, and that's it.
If only you should just what you should do is just like heat shrink vinyl the whole thing and like just be like that. It's all one color. It's gold,
good enough.
all gold.
Yeah, and I don't. But at this point, I don't even know what paint I want to use on it yet. Because I like to get the piece done, test some paints on a test piece, see how they look. I have a kind of an idea of what I might use, but but it's also going to need to be, fairly durable paint because I know a lot of people want to carry these at cons. So it just kind of, it all depends on that. I'm not going to have that figured out until I have a piece to test on. And because that's the way I like to do those if I'm doing a resin cast is just cast one up, start testing, or cast a couple up, start testing paints on them, seeing how it looks. And sometimes I take photos to kind of see, because sometimes things look really great in person.
Oh yes.
And you take a photo and it's like, and maybe something that you didn't think would look good looks better in a photo, so there's like this kind of balance that you have to find. So that's where I'm at. No big deal. But I think that's probably it for this episode, though.
Wait, I want to finish this episode with one fun little fact.
What's that?
Liz, my friend Liz, literally just messaged me and said, dude, Destiny 2 is going to be through Battle.net. Ted wore his Destiny cosplay to BlizzCon. I wonder if he knew or if he is just a prophet.
I think he's not only...
we have to know.
He's not only the Bob Ross of foam, he is now a costume prophet.
That's even more funny because my friend Alex that works at Blizzard met her boyfriend through Destiny, and she talked to me earlier about making 2 costumes for them for PAX later this year, and I am trying to grind through my stuff. I patterned out like one thing for that. That's like the gauntlet thing. I patterned out that for her costumes because they're matching, thank God, at least, but it's male and female. So I was like, oh yeah, I really want to do that for you. And I wonder if she also knows, like, Destiny and Blizzard. Interesting.
I don't know. That's a cool matchup. That should be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we'll Battle.net, but still, like, that's very interesting. It's a cool thing. They've come together like that. So very fun. Yeah. So Ted is a prophet, is what Liz has decided. And I support that. I can subscribe to that theory.
All right. So this coming year, BlizzCon, see what Ted's up to. It may come true.
Oh my gosh!
Year.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so thanks everybody for being here, and are you ready to say goodbye, Jackie?
Oh my gosh!
Saying goodbye.
Yes, we're saying goodbye. My ADD is really strong.
Okay.
Yes, bye guys.
Goodbye. That was it for Craft and Geek. Thank you.
Okay.
See you next time.